What's up, everybody? Easy here, back with the very first NFL video of the season. Really looking forward to this season and happy to finally be back on this channel. It's been years, man, ever since YouTube took this away from us, and now we got the channel back and looking forward to another successful NFL season and back to the NBA content and all that good stuff. But week one is a week where you can take some chances. It's a new season, a lot of uncertainties, a lot of new faces in new places. This is the week where you get to try some stuff. Really, the first 2 to 3 weeks, just try stuff, man, because the uncertainty is what'll win you money in these types of weeks right here, because most people will go for what they know. So just taking 1 to 2 risks can be a huge thing for your lineups. And I'm going to drop some videos about contest selection, strategy, and all that good stuff. But for today, let's go ahead and get into it first. Let's get the homework out the way. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell icon so you can get all our content as soon as it drops. We're going to have DFS and prop videos, so look forward to that, and also betting videos as well. So look forward to all of that. We'll be having some guests on the channel like the old times and everything. Quarterbacks. There's a lot of good quarterbacks on this list, but I guess first let's talk about how I try to build lineups. There's a lot of great wide receiver value, so I'm going to be paying up. I'm most likely going to be paying up at running back and quarterback this week. And there's a lot of good quarterbacks playing. I mean, Jaden Daniels looked really good in preseason. Joe Burrow is like one of the best fantasy quarterbacks out there going up against Cleveland too, which I think their defense is going to be not as good as it used to be this season. You got Baker Mayfield going up against my Falcons. Kyler Murray going up against the Saints. Bo Nix is in a really good spot going up against Tennessee. But as of right now, though, the main guy I'm looking at is, I like Joe Burrow a lot, but Jaden Daniels can run. That New York defense looked really good in preseason, though, I'm not going to lie. But I'm mainly looking at Joe Burrow at 6,900. My Falcons defense, I mean, we looked okay in preseason, but then we had some shaky spots as well. But I'm not gauging preseason too much this season because we didn't really get to see much either. But really do like that 6,600 on Baker Mayfield. He still has some weapons, and there's another guy we'll actually talk about later on in the wide receiver spot. But I do like Brock Purdy at 6,200. 61 for Jordan Love. I don't hate that. Tua at 5,800 is another one that I'm really looking at. I just wish he was more mobile. 5,700 Bryce Mitchell. Nah, I'm thinking of UFC. Bryce Young. I do like that too because he's mobile. He can get his own rushing touchdowns, but he can also sling that thing in me. He got some weapons, man. We're going to talk about one of his wide receivers later on, especially after the Adam Thielen trade earlier today. Michael Penix, bias Atlanta, but that matchup between Atlanta and Tampa Bay is like fantasy gold. There's always a lot of points being scored in those matchups, but I feel like this week, though, I don't want to go any lower than Trevor Lawrence against that Carolina defense. Like, Daniel Jones, he's going to try some stuff, but I just feel, Russell Wilson, 5K, don't hate that. Cam Ward, 5K. That Denver defense, though, may give him some trouble. Joe Flacco, actually, at 4,900 is not bad either, but I'll say if I don't need, I probably would. I'm going to try my best to not go below Trevor Lawrence here at 5,300. But if I do need the savings, I don't mind Cam Ward at 5K. And I definitely don't mind Joe Flacco at 4,900 either because he's going up against that Cincy defense that bleeds points as well. And Flacco's going to try some stuff. He's old as dirt, but hey, last season he was putting up some numbers, man. And I was riding that wave until basically I rode the wave till the wheels fall off. But right now, as of right now, though, my main picks that I'm really eyeballing is Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield. Really do like Michael Penix and Bryce Young both. in really, really solid matchups. Don't hate Trevor Lawrence as well at 5,300. And he can rush the ball a little bit too. For the sake of the build right now, let's see, who are we throwing? Who are we throwing? I don't know, for some weird reason, I have this weird fucking feeling. I'm going to reduce the cursing. I have this weird feeling Bryce Young's going to have a really good fantasy year. Now, running back is where the buffet is at. I mean, you got one half of the Sonic and Knuckles duo between Jahmyr Gibbs. You got Bijan, who had one solid game against Tampa last season. The cover boy, Christian McCaffrey. Let's go ahead and put him in. They're really banged up in the running back room and even their wide receiver room as well over in San Francisco. So expect CMC to have a lot. I mean, a lot of action. Just stay healthy for us, man. Stay healthy for us. Really like Bucky Irving here in the spot going up against my Falcons too. Falcons are gonna Falcons, man. We're always gonna give teams a chance to stay in the game. And also Rashad White is banged up, so if he sits, Bucky Irving is another really, really good play. Ashton Genty, he's having a decent matchup to start the season too. So don't hate him, but I don't want to pay 7K out the gate. Like, I'm gonna wait and see on, like, I'd rather pay 6,800 for Jonathan Taylor before I pay 7K for Ashton Genty, but don't hate the guy at all. It's just more, he's one of the few where let me just wait and see how he starts off the season. But love a $6,800 Jonathan Taylor. Alvin Kamara at 6,300 looks really, really good, especially with that Saints offense. I think he's going to be a focal point, like a real focal point of that offense. So really like that $6,300 price tag. And he's going to be involved on the run game, of course, but the passing game as well. I think you could get an easy like 4 to 6 points. You could just add that in right now just from the receptions he'll get. You got Spencer Rattler, I believe, starting week 1. So James Conner, don't hate him at all at 61, but I'd much rather go to Chuba Hubbard. He's going to be very involved in everything Carolina do. They've paid him. $5,900 Ken Walker is one that, if you watch, man, see how those preseason games, those running backs were looking really good and their O-line was creating holes for them. And Ken Walker has been such an underrated DFS running back, man, and he's won me some money over the years too. It's just, can he stay healthy? Because that's always the biggest red flag with him, is like, you could play him and he get hurt within the first quarter and now your lineup screwed. But 5,900 Ken Walker in a decent matchup versus San Francisco. I'm gonna pencil this one. I'm gonna keep a good eye on him. And we do have, where is he? I know Tajay Spears, I believe, is out for the first game, or trending towards out for the first game. So Tony Pollard at 5,700 looks good too. Tyrone Tracy, I mean, there's too much going on in the backfield for New York right now. He might get vultured a couple of times when they get up to the goal line, because you got Scatterboo there, you still got Singletary there as well. But where's Nick Chubb? That's another person I want to talk about, because Houston's banged up with no Mixon. I think Nick Chubb should be one of the higher owned players this week, next week once the football season starts, because 5,200 looks great, man, versus the LA Rams too. The volume will be there. The price tag is good, and he actually looked decent too the few times that we've seen him this preseason. So really, really, really like Nick Chubb. I believe Judkins hasn't signed yet, so Dylan Sampson at 4,900 should be the lead back for Cleveland. He's in a good matchup against Cincinnati, because Cincinnati defense just bleeds points, man. So don't mind that 4,900 at all. Austin Eckler is in a really good spot too, because I believe, let's go to Washington real quick, because they just traded away Brian Robinson Jr. So yeah, it's Eckler and Korsky Merritt, I believe is how you pronounce his name. That's another solid kid too at 4K. So there's some good value at running back too if you want to spend up for two, because I like to play 3 running backs whenever I can, especially if you're like a cash game player or a single entry player like me. I don't really do the cash games much nowadays. I'm really more just single entry, especially the high-end single entries, because I just believe those are where you make the most money, especially if you're not like a professional player that can just throw thousands every week into just max multi entering. Single entry is where it's at, but I do think you can play two high end running backs this week and then just get one of these cheaper guys like a Nick Chubb, a Eckler, Korsky Merritt, Dylan Sampson. Man, there's some good cheap running backs available. You got, yeah, I probably wouldn't go no lower than Korsky Merritt, especially, him and Eckler are probably going to share the load, but $4,800 Eckler looks really good with no Brian Robinson there anymore. In a matchup against the Giants, who struggle against the run last season, yeah, I like Eckler a lot at 4,800, and he's very involved in the passing game as well. So that's just free points right there too. Now, let's just put in Eckler and CMC for now. Now, wide receiver, like I said, this may be my paydown spot this week because one thing I do like about wide receiver is these high end folks can score, but the mid range and the lower tier can easily match them too with just a couple catches. And it's hard to ignore Jamar Chase, of course. 8,100 actually feels like a discount for this dude. I think him and Burrow are going to pick off exactly where they left off last season. I mean, they look good in preseason together, but you always have that lingering thought, too, of it could be a T. Higgins game. But don't mind $8,100 Jamar Chase at all. Don't mind 7,600 Puka Nacua. No cup around anymore, so it's just him and Devontae Adams now. Nico Collins, I probably won't go there this week. Neither will I go there for the sun god Amun-Ra. Really looking forward to seeing Neighbors and Russell Wilson and see what type of connection they'll have. Like, really, really looking forward to that. Drake London had a big game against Tampa a couple times last season. I want to say he had that 50. Well, I might be thinking at captain he had like 50 points, but let me see. Where was that overtime game we had against Tampa? Yep, that's when he had, so about 50 at captain. Yeah, that's when that Thursday night football game where he dropped like 12 catches for 154 yards and a touchdown. He also had another, okay game against them, but he got hurt early on in that game too, where he scored only like 7 DFS points. So like Drake London against Tampa, really, really good spot for him. I mean, not sure how, I want to go on the Garrett Wilson train because, the kid can ball. Like, he can ball, but I want to see more of his connection with, what's his name again? Justin Fields. 62 for Terry McLaurin. I like someone better. I mean, Waddle, 5,700. If Tyreek sits, love that price tag for Waddle, 5,700. But we got an even cheaper guy coming on later on. J-Mo, Marvin Harrison Jr., at 5,500 going up against the Saints, I don't mind that at all. And Deebo Samuel, him at 5,200, I think he's going to be a really good fit for this team. I really do believe he's going to be a very good fit for this Washington Commanders team. And this may be the cheapest we see him this season. He's one of the reasons why I'd rather take that $1,000 savings from Terry McLaurin. He's been holding out, sitting out for a while too. And Debo's active. He can run the ball as well. Yeah, he can do those, design plays for him. He also can get open. He can, I think this is a big year for Debo in general, especially after how things ended in San Francisco. So I like that $5,200 price tag on Debo a lot. Ted McMillan, like the kid too, 5,200. Don't mind him at all. Calvin Ridley, I think, will have a big season this year. Now, is this the game to start off with him? I'm not sure. What's going on with my boy Darnell Mooney? Let's check real quick. Oh, he's on the, wasn't placed on IR. Okay, but it's unclear if he has a chance. Okay, so if he misses, then I got a kid in Atlanta that I want to look at. Travis Hunter, that's another interesting one right there. But back to Calvin Ridley. I do like Calvin Ridley this season. I think him and Cam Ward are going to put up numbers. So if you're playing Cam Ward, just go ahead and automatically put Ridley in your lineup. But I'm going to look at Ridley for more props than actually playing him this week because I am still fearful, kind of the Denver matchup, especially with Surtain around. Travis Hunter, 5K, don't hate it, don't hate it. He most likely will be playing both sides, so it's a wait and see. I'm gonna give it the wait and see treatment. Now, a rookie that I do want to give a chance is Golden. I think Matthew Golden can have some big games this season, and him and Jordan Love will have a beautiful connection, especially if Romeo Dobbs can't get his stuff together and he ends up missing the first game. Really do like Golden's chances. Adam Thielen is no longer on the Carolina team, so let's keep going down here. This kid, I can never say his name right. I'll say his first name. I can say that. Emeka Egbuka. Emeka Egbuka, I do like him a lot at 4,600 as a cheap play going up against my Falcons. I think we're going to be focused a lot on Mike Evans. And this kid, he's got speed. He can get open. And I think, like, he has the archetype that gives Atlanta trouble. And I do think that he'll be a good DFS player this season. Baker Mayfield, he's going to chuck it. And he'll be looking for the kid. So I kind of see him like the McMillan kid from last year on Tampa. I think he could have a really big season. Now, the main guy with the wide receiver room very banged up right now, and he's destined to have a big season too, like especially after how solid he ended last year too. Ricky Pearsall. Ricky Pearsall, however you say the last name. I do like him a lot at 4,500. I'm going to just go ahead plug him in right there because he's like the perfect player this week to save you some salary. He's going to have a big role out the gate, and he's going up in a really good matchup. So really like Ricky Pearsall here. I think this is a matchup where he can do some work. Now, some other cheapies that we'll run through real quick because I think wide receiver and tight end you can get your savings this week and then just pay up at quarterback and running back. Like get one solid quarterback, three solid running backs, and then defense is always going to be cheap. They'll add some savings and then you can just pay up on one wide receiver spot too. Now the other cheaps, Parker Washington. He was good to end the season last year. He's gonna have a bigger role in the offense. I believe he'll be the wide receiver 3. Christian Kirk is not around anymore either. Really like Parker Washington. There's another kid that I like. I'm trying to find real quick. Oh, Jalen McMillan is on the IR, so that makes the Emeka Egbuka kid even better in my eyes. Jalen Coker. Really like Jalen Coker this season. I think he might have a big year coming for him. And especially with Adam Thielen gone now too, you could pick either him or Ted McMillan. They're both going to have some solid season. And I'm telling you, Bryce Young in general is going to have a good year. Really like Jalen Coker. Most likely we'll have him in a good number of lineups this weekend. Even with this build that I got Bryce Young as my quarterback right now, I'll probably throw him in there as my stack with him. And then, in that game, I'll have some bringbacks. You got the Parker Washingtons of the world. And, I just feel like there's a lot of cheap wide receivers where this may be the cheapest you'll see them all season. But let me get y'all a couple more before we get out of wide receiver. Westbrook Akine, man, the touchdown monster last year. Don't sleep on him, especially just for you guys that like to bet anytime touchdowns. That's where I like him more than DFS because you may get more bang for your buck that way betting him than on DFS. Malik Washington, like this guy too. And they're going to do a lot of designed runs for him, a lot of designed plays for him. And if Tyreek Hill misses this first game, Malik Washington looks really good. And at 3,200, man, they like the kid. Tua says a lot of good things about the kid. 3,200 is very cheap for his upside. And then one last player down low while we're dumpster diving. One last player. Where is he? Let me just type in his name. If Darnell Mooney's, there's a lot of Washingtons on this slate, but if Darnell Mooney sits out on the opening night, do like Casey Washington a lot. was okay in preseason. Really didn't get to see him much, but the team likes the kid, and he's most likely locked in that number 3 wide receiver role right now. And he's got speed. He can get open. He'll play that Darnell Mooney role, especially if Mooney is not good to go. So really, really like him. Let's go ahead, throw in Pearsall and Coker. Tight end, Brock Bowers. It's kind of interesting what they got going on over there because you got Bowers and you got Michael Mayer. They're both going to go at each other for that role. I think Kittle is one of the best tight ends you could play this week, mainly because the team's banged up. They need him like real bad. Like he's probably gonna be wide receiver one. He's basically 1A and 1B with Ricky Pearsall. So Kittle is like the no-brainer tight end to me right now. But looking at the others, I mean, Njoku, solid season last year. And in a good matchup against Cincy that just bleeds points. I'm telling you, like that Cincy defense, it just bleeds points. So don't hate that. Tyler Warren, really solid kid. Looked good in preseason as well. I think he can, that Darren Waller and Daniel Jones, or even Daniel Jones likes to find his tight ends, man. I mean, you had Darren Waller, the Eric Bellinger, Tyler Johnson. I mean, he likes his tight ends, so I don't mind Tyler Warren here. He's a good pass catching tight end, can get open. Is it finally gonna be Kyle Pitts year? Like finally, can we get the Kyle Pitts year that we've been waiting on? Had a solid game against Tampa the last time we played him. I think he had the 2 touchdown game. I want to say, yep, it was the 2 touchdown game. So tight ends tend to do well against Tampa. So $4,300 Kyle Pitts. Is this finally gonna be the Kyle Pitts year? I hope so. I really do as a Falcons fan. And then after that, I mean, just take your pick, Okonkwo has always been solid. Brandon Strange, he had a solid season last year, but most of it was with Mac Jones. Juwan Johnson is always a solid option. Where is my guy? Taysom Hill. I know he's out, but yep, ACL. Oof, sorry. But Harold Fanning Jr., he had some solid catches this preseason, had a few touchdowns as well, but that's Njoku's spot. I mean, Tyler Johnson, he's always solid. Jatavion, I believe, is Tremble hurt? I believe Tommy Tremble is hurt. So Sanders is not a bad look, but yeah. But really, I don't. Tight end wise, honestly, there's 2 tight ends that I'm really, really looking at. Let's make it 3. It's Trey McBride, George Kittle, and Kyle Pitts Sr. I feel like those are the 3 tight ends that I'm looking at the most this week. After that, it's not the prettiest position. Like, it's really not the prettiest position in week 1, it's not the sexiest. So for now, based on the Bills, just throw in Kittle, and then defenses just pick the one that won't get you negative. That's it. I mean, let's see. Which one are we running with this week? Defenses has always been a punt position for me unless I notified a potential spot that could look good. I mean, Jets versus Aaron Rodgers, maybe they could sack him a couple times, but then vice versa, Steelers against Jets. Maybe they can get Justin Fields a couple times. So I don't mind either one of those 2. How much is the Steelers? 33, Jets at 20. Yeah, throw in Jets. Fuck it. Throw in Jets. So you got 7,700 for 2 more spots to place. Like I said, you can get 1 more solid running back and 1 pay up. I mean, you can get Jamar Chase and whatever running back you want. Like, you can get Bucky Irving, who we like. You can get Jonathan Taylor, who we like. So you can get anybody, basically, after playing Chase. And if you don't play Chase, you can pay up for even another person like a Jahmyr Gibbs. You can get... So, yeah, there's value on this slate, like a lot of good value on this slate. So building a solid lineup on week 1 will not be hard, but just pick your spots that you really like. I went through, all the players that I'm kind of eyeballing as of right now, a very early first look. Keep up with the comment section down below because I'll add in some thoughts, especially as news trickles in. Thursday night football video will be out tomorrow. I'll do some more research on that game and we'll talk some strategy. And look out for the shorts too. I'd probably try to put in some funny content along with some, DFS knowledge as well, like contest selection. If I'm doing any giveaways, because I'm gonna bring back the giveaways too. For the OGs of the channel, y'all know we do at least, $20 giveaways every week or anything along that nature. Right now, all the content is free. I do have a Discord for those that want to join in the Discord and fun like that too. So I'll get all those links in the comment section down below. But it just feels good to be back on this grind. And I look forward to a very successful week 1. With that being said, let's get to that bag and it's easy. I'm out.